Saul back for its sixth season. 2 years since we got the end of season five, which
Yeah.
feels kind of crazy because I there are still certain moments from season five that are so memorable, just
Mm.
stand out. Um, I mean, I think in taking in the first two episodes, which when I went to go DVR this and I saw it was 2 hours and 30 minutes of episodes, I was like, wow, we're getting a full movie of Saul in the opening here. I loved it, but at the same time, I was like, 2 hours, 30 minutes. It's a lot of
Yeah.
Saul to get through right away.
It is, yeah. And just uncommon for the show to release this way, two episodes at once for the premiere, but also we know that we're only getting the first 7 episodes in this run right now, ending on May 23rd. Episodes 8 through 13 won't kick off until July 11th, ending on August 15th. So we're getting a split final season, season 6, much like how Breaking Bad's final season was also split. But actually, this is a bit more common this year. The Ozark final season and Stranger Things season 4 are also doing split seasons this year. But I think spreading it out is kind of awesome. It'll keep the Saul conversation going, but we're kind of assuming this is the main, if not true final endpoint for this Breaking Bad, Saul, Heisenberg, Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould verse, right? Like I can't. Maybe we get another movie spinoff like El Camino. I don't really see the need for one. So in all likelihood, this is it, and it's really exciting to be back and realize I think like how long we've been building up to this moment.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. And I think actually to go back to your point on the split season, it makes a lot of sense for where we expect this season to be going. We know that there's going to be some episodes or at least some scenes that go post Saul Goodman into, oh boy, what's his name? It's like
Jimmy
Terry.
McGill.
No, it's when his new Gene Takavik when he's
Oh
the
yes, in
Cinnabon
a
worker.
present timeline, right?
Yeah. So we know that we're going to be getting some of that. We know that it's going to skip forward to some scenes with Cranston and Aaron Paul again, which I don't know. I'm very interested to see like 45-year-old Aaron Paul. He might be a little younger than that, but playing like teenage Jesse Pinkman again. Just I feel like it could either be really hit or miss, but I have faith in their makeup team to make it look fine. So I think the split makes sense because I
He's
expect
42, by the way.
I expect there to be something in like the mid-season where there's some sort of schism and we start to see what goes on. But in thinking about the season coming back, the one thing that stands out, and this is something people have said about Saul from the get-go, this is a true slow burn TV show that if you've stuck with it through from the first season on, you're really getting a lot of rewarding payoff as the sixth season is coming around. I mean,
Hmm.
not only is the opening of the season right in line with most of the other openings, it shows them. It looks like it's right after Saul gets kind of pinned with being the like big meth mover
Right.
in wherever I forget where they are.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, thank you. Uh, but like in the DEA is like confiscating stuff from his house. But you
Right.
see
In
all these
color this
little,
time.
yes, in color,
Not
which is
like the
cool.
Gene scenes in black and white.
But you get these like little like moments, and especially as like you see that tequila bottle top fall out, which kind of harkens back to this moment when Jimmy and Kim kind of get to almost kind of like start off on the path of where they are starting season six as
Right.
these two lawyers, but also people that are really bending the ethical uh, boundaries of their roles and just as human beings in general. And
Yep.
um, obviously, I think uh, where this show seems to be going is it really built you up for loving Kim, and Rhea Seehorn does such a wonderful job of,
Oh yeah.
you know, making her just a dynamite character. But you kind of see that Kim is of a little bit more Saul than Saul is right now.
Mm.
She's kind of the one driving this bus, kind of creating this picture, and it's really devastating. And it's almost weird to see Jimmy go from being this guy who's lovable, but obviously has a lot of hard breaks, and you root for, but also you realize it's pretty slimy. To now him being like aghast at what he's created in Kim's
Mm.
diabolicalness. It's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
We'll see if that sticks. But I mean, that was kind of the revelation of season 5
Mhm.
was that, oh no, Kim is getting in on the Saul Goodman business. What happens to Kim Wexler has always been the question about this series because she's not in Breaking Bad. Whether she dies or not, we've kind of been assuming the worst, uh, and now we know that Kim is going to be directly involved in whatever ends up going down here, and season 6 is continuing that. I really enjoyed Better Call Saul to have this scheme to frame Howard Hamlin for being a cokehead, and we're bringing back the Kettlemans from season 1. Talk about payoff, but even this new reintroduction of the Kettleman family is about this kind of slow burn thread that we come to expect of like the latest scheme from Kim and Jimmy. So everything felt right in line with how Saul's been going. And I thought season 5 was the best season of the series. But now we're really
Yeah.
meeting with Breaking Bad on the timeline scale and just kind of like I feel like the narrative arcs and everything. I was kind of disappointed that they openly confirmed that Jesse and Walt were coming back. That would have been an amazing surprise had that happened. But nevertheless, I'm sure it'll pay off because Gilligan and Gould just they're not going to half-ass that something like that.
Nope.
Um, and we also have so much tension with Ignacio with Nacho in terms of just
Yes.
can he survive and escape Mexico and escape Lalo's wrath after Lalo survives at the end of season 5. And I think we have such a relationship with Nacho and Michael Mando's performance that's another like key bit of tension. And I really like how Better Call Saul has invested the audience in Kim Wexler, in Nacho, because those are the people that we don't know their fates. We know that Jimmy is going to make it through. We know that Mike Ehrmantraut and Gus Fring are going to make it through Better Call Saul. But because we're so invested in Kim and Nacho, the plot is still super uh, tension filled, and you just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about just like how they've really built these characters up. And Nacho is someone that I didn't really ever feel invested in, but seeing him like running for his life and feeling so like in the middle between Gus and the Salamancas is just really you really feel for the guy because a lot of tough people coming after him right now.
Yeah.
And I thought his arc in these 2 episodes was really impressive. Ending in that shootout was just really, really well done. And Gilligan is so, I mean, just the way he writes is so impressive. I mean, the whole thing with like Lalo going to see that family, right? He's on the run. He goes to the wife,
Mhm.
makes him the coffee, sitting there. He asks, "Oh, have you been to that dentist?" And yeah, his teeth are all better. And you find out that he like was putting his teeth into this guy and basically like, making this like body double if he ever needed to have it to like disappear. It's just like, who the hell thinks of this sort of shit? And like, just like so well done. And like, the little way slips it in. Oh man, and just like done with so much style and like the the framing of things, like the colors in it. You think about like Lalo in the desert with the coyotes and wearing that like red bandana, and just like Timothy Dalton looking like $1,000,000 in every scene, even
Oh
when
yeah.
he's like shot up. It's just like the show is firing on all cylinders, and everything is just like bing bang boom. Every scene is dynamite, even when there's not really that much going on. It's just so well done. It's really impressive, and it's funny because we've talked about a lot of really good shows. I think in the last couple of months, things that we've really enjoyed, but then you get something like this, or I'm looking forward to David Simon in his new show next week, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, these guys are just on a different level. Like people don't do make shows like this all the time. So
No.
I'm really glad to have Saul back.
Hell yeah. And hopefully Reese Seahorn will finally get an Emmy nomination for this role, let alone a win.
Yeah,
And
insane.
Bob Odenkirk, especially after the health scare, will not be shocked to see him get a best actor win,
Yeah.
lead actor win as well for this final season. So not that Gilligan needs the coronation all over again and Gould, but like I think Seahorn and Odenkirk would really be deserving of this, and Dalton as a supporting performer as well would be awesome.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned Jonathan Banks as Mike, or at least we haven't talked about him that much. I just really love the scenes between Mike and Gus. Like when Mike is really like standing up to Gus, which is not
Right.
as something we saw as much in Breaking Bad. And I just love how they are kind of fleshing out that dynamic in such a great way. And Jonathan Banks obviously is great. Um, just real quick, because I think everybody's expecting something to happen to Kim, whether it's Kim
Yeah.
gets killed, something happens. Like, what would be your prediction? Do you think Kim is a goner?
I do. Honestly, I feel like something bad's gonna happen, right? But on the other hand, Jesse never died, you know?
True.
Walt doesn't die until he redeems himself. So like I wouldn't be shocked to see her like get away. I it's so hard, you know. I feel like however it happens, it's not gonna be predictable. And that's
I,
what I want. I don't want to be able to see it coming.
I almost feel, and I was thinking about this a lot because I'm like, what's going to happen to Kim? This seems like the big question for me. I think it has to be, or I think it's going to be something like Jimmy, and Kim get caught, and Jimmy in some way just pins it right on Kim, and Kim is the one that like takes the fall for all this,
That would
and
suck.
it's really Jimmy like just accepting like that he's Saul, he's this like person with no morals and just like totally terrible person, and Kim is catches the last like stray like Jimmy into Saul transition.
Right,
I
right.
think it has to be something like that. I don't
Man,
know.
that would be gutting if that's the way it goes.
uh, Anything's on the table, which is why the show is also fun. So I hope people are checking it out. Drop your comments on our YouTube on what you liked about these first two episodes, what you're looking forward to, what your predictions are for the season.